Right, today we are going to do pork vindaloo. Now, vindaloo for the Indian restaurants is a very hot curry. This is my family recipe. Remember, we are mixed heritage, French, Italian, German, Scottish, Dutch, and Asian, of course. And our recipes are somewhat different. They won't necessarily be the recipe that you normally see. Anyway, I don't know the history of this recipe. I know it's a family recipe. It's called pork vindaloo. But what you're looking at is me to put two onions chopped up in some oil. I've just started it. You should have the oil hot to start with, but that's not the way I did it because I needed space. So I put the oil in there, and then the onions. I've just put the oven on to do that. And now I'm going to show you the rest. Here's the rest of the ingredients. 1 pound of pork loin. In that bowl there is what I'd say the fresh ingredients. There's 6 pods of garlic. There's about 1.5 inches of chopped ginger, and there is 2 chillies finely chopped. In this bowl here, which you can see, I'm going to make a paste. This is going to have in it, I'll do it now, it's going to have 1 teaspoon of turmeric. It's going to have 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, and it's going to have 1/2 teaspoon, it's going to have 4 teaspoons of jeera. Now my family recipe says 1/4 teaspoon chili powder, but I put 1/2 teaspoon. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 teaspoons in there of jeera. Now what I need to do there is, using vinegar, is I'm going to make a paste. I've run out, so I'm going to have to use some rice wine vinegar, some other vinegar to loosen up. It should be a loose paste. We'll try a bit more. It may not be enough. Let's see. Don't be worried about the taste of this vinegar. It also gets cooked off. But it's good old Sarsens. Anyway, so now I've turned it. That might just be enough to do that. It's turned into a paste. Yeah, let's see, that's a loose paste there. Okay, that's that one. So that's going to be used first. That's going to be used second. And this bit here, which I haven't shown yet, is in fact 2 chopped garlic. So it's very garlic orientated, this meal. Plus 2 teaspoons of sugar, plus 2 teaspoons of vinegar, and I've mixed them up. That goes in at the end. So the first thing now is going to wait for the onions to fry. The onions now, you can see they've got a little bit of light brown around the edges. Now this is the time we add the first selection, which is 2 chillies, 6 pods of garlic, and 1.5 to 2 inches of ginger chopped. That goes in there now. We now fry that until it gets dark brown. Just do that. Just trying to make these videos so that you don't get bored. So I try to shorten everything. There's not much point in you watching me chop things. And there's not much point in you watching me fry things unless you find it meditational. Anyway, there we go. You can smell. There's a change in the garlic and ginger. Ginger and garlic have a raw smell. This particular dish is important. You get used to the smells because that tells you when things are cooked. Right, so you got to keep stirring it, otherwise it'll stick, right? So I think what I'll do is I'll use the wooden spatula so it takes it off the bottom. Takes it off the bottom more easier. Incidentally, if things aren't being cooked too fast and too hard and they're sticking, a tiny bit of sort of like a couple of tablespoons of cold water at the bottom will free everything up again. there will be water added to this later on, so I'm not too worried about things sticking. Just adds the flavour, doesn't it? Okay, that's that one there. I'll leave that to carry on for a little while. Right, we're waiting until that's crispy brown. I think what I'll do is, if you can keep your eye on that now and try and remember it, I'll come back to you, switch the camera on when it's got to the next stage. So I'm frying this then from light brown to a dark brown, and then I'm going to add that paste, which is already shown to you, which is the five chopped garlic pods, plus it's got cumin and turmeric and vinegar and a little bit of chilli powder. Right, remember it's the chilli powder that adds the heat. I'd certainly put some in, even if you're not don't like it. It wouldn't be worthwhile doing it, otherwise it ends up being a stew if you don't do that. So there we go. Got to keep doing that. Here we are now. So you can see it's got a lot darker than the last photograph. And here's the paste that I made. That's all going in there now. I'm going to add some water too. About half a cup. But I haven't got to, I'm going to measure out half a cup in this bowl, because it gives me the chance to use what's left. So I reckon half a cup will be, I don't know, somewhere like that. See, that's not rocket science, does it? It's a bit looser. Let's put some in there. Right, let's put more than that. Probably like 3/4 of a cup. Anyway, so let's put this in there. Now I've got to fry this down, because you can wait till that, because it's a raw smell again, and I can smell the vinegar in this. It's raw smell again, which needs to change. It's cooked. It's going to go. It'll get drier because the oil will separate, and that's when we add the meat. So anyway, I'll come back to you once we do that, but I'm going to keep doing this until the smell changes, which of course you can't see on a video. Can't hear. You have to take my word for it. Of course, it's quite noxious. Oh, but it's a lovely. It clears your sinuses, folks. It's been about, I'd say, 8 to 9 minutes. You see the water's gone. The oil is now coming to the surface. Everything's dark brown. I should perhaps have it on a lower heat, take a bit longer, but it's come a bit quicker. And the smells change. It's got less acidic, the air, the smell. And now, here's the chicken, the pork. So let's mix that pork in there with it. I need to have a teaspoon of salt, which I haven't got out. I'm just going to turn this off while I'm moving. Here's some salt, a teaspoon of salt. That's in there then. Get a good mix round. Get those herbs and spices in all the pork. Right, now that's done. So what's the next thing? I tell you what the next thing is. It needs to cook the pork, don't it? It's going to take about an hour and a half on a slow cook this. But it needs no water in it. There's no water in it, is it? There's no water. So I'll add a bit of water, like. But don't add much. So I'm going to add about a cup of water. I'll just get a cup out. And I've got to put the lid on it then. That's it. Turn it down to a that's there done. I'll bring the heat up again just to get it hot. Now I'll turn it down again. Right, so is that then? Right, so the water should be just level with the meat, which I think you'll agree is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lid on and then leave it on a slow heat for about an hour and a half. Well, this is after 45 minutes. Just the lid off, turned it down a bit, but I'm going to turn it back up because it's not bubbling now. So another 45 minutes and it should be cooked. But you can see, let's have a look, you can see how nice it looks. And I've still got to add in at the very end the other bit of garlic and sugar and vinegar. Anyway, I'll get this back and I'll come back to you in a few minutes. Right. It looks really quite nice actually, the food at the moment. Just break a piece up. Yeah, I think it's cooked. Anyway, I'm going to give it another 10-20 minutes or so. Now in here is the vinegar, the garlic. So it's 2 pods of garlic mashed up, 2 teaspoons of vinegar and 2 teaspoons of sugar. And that's all going in there now. Oh shit. Sorry about the French. Alright, put that away. That smells absolutely delicious. Give it a good stir round. It's got enough gravy for 1 cup of water to see. Right, I think that'll do that another 10 minutes or so. And then that is cooked. Right. And then I'll show you that when it's completely done. Oh, this is it now cooked. It's just I've just turned the heating off, so it'll be just cooling down. And I've got some potatoes. I'll have some potatoes, maybe a bit of broccoli if I can get some before the shop's shut. Maybe the odd carrot or something. I don't know. You can have it with meat and 2 veg anyway. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it turns out as nice as this one will.